uncontrollable. Rooted when they roll with me. I'll let them know I'm uncontrollable. Being who I wanna be. No way, you're controlling me.
Ooh, how's it going? Sensei back here. You can see my new backdrop here. This was the sickest thing that at least I thought that was a gift from a fan at the old Face House in New York. And when the guys moved out, they had left a bunch of stuff because they just couldn't bring it, couldn't fit in the U-Haul. So I had went there just to grab a few things, and this was lying there. But I finally have it set up. I finally have it, not really set up, it's just kind of plopped on my desk there. But shout out to whoever made this thing. So over the weekend, Pacquiao versus Broner, your man Vidal got on the undercard and then knocked the dude out in 33 seconds.
There we go, there we go, there we go.
Honestly, if you look back, he knocked him out in like 5 seconds. I had saw the overhand on the Instagram clip, but when you look back and when you watch Vidal's YouTube video, which you go see, which is pretty sick, it has all behind the scenes. It had him training, hitting mitts, just that whole vibe. Had him with Michael Blackson and Badu and that whole, you know, behind the scenes, which you don't see from fighters. You don't see at this level, and he's reached that level, so it's just really cool to see that. But the overhand right was the first punch that he threw. Literally the first punch that he threw, that had to have knocked him out. I don't know, the guy got rocked. It looked like when he got hit, he went to sleep and then he woke back up, but he was out after that. As soon as he stood up, he was just out on his feet. When I first saw the left hand, I was like, man, his opponent's really like lethargic. He's really kind of like slow. But then once I realized that he had just dropped him with the overhand, he was out on his feet. So it's just a matter of time. And the thing that's scary about Vidal, so like when I had first trained with him, and at least I saw him move around, and then when I started training with him, and then I did that sparring video, he's a scary dude to fight. Obviously, he's bigger. He fights at like the cruiserweight with 200 pounds, and he's not a heavyweight. And there's guys who are fast, who are heavy, right? Who are just bigger guys who are fast. But you don't usually see people who are quick, take up distance very fast, who are in a heavier weight. Like you have guys who have fast hands, who have sharp, fast, powerful hands, and like good, sharp, powerful, fast movements. But Vidal is quick. He's like a lighter weight guy. I mean, it makes sense that his idol growing up was Roy Jones, because he has that style where he'll be, seems like he's kind of out of range, and then he'll just lunge in with a shot, like his lunging left hook. And to me, that's what makes him so dangerous, because at any point in the fight, he's going to be dangerous. Because usually when I sparred bigger guys, and I've never sparred someone like Vidal, even at his level, even if I spar someone bigger, but you usually can just see things coming. You see it more, like when you verse someone who's small, who's shorter, it's hard because you don't see anything coming. They're just so quick and they're so twitchy. When you spar someone who's bigger than you and heavier, typically you can just see it coming, and you feel the shots a lot more because they're so much heavier, but you can at least see it coming. But when I sparred Vidal, he had that quickness and that herky-jerky motion, that stutter, and he was quick, and he didn't show things coming, and he could close distance really fast. And he wasn't just like, you know, like Triple G's a fighter who's slow and he finds his shots, and he's a heavy hitter. He's a lighter weight guy. Usually that's the type of style you see at a heavier weight. And what's really interesting, I mean, a lot of you guys don't know, I think it's really cool that you guys get to see a professional fighter who has real potential to be a champion of the world, to see their first couple of fights, or their first, you know, 10, 15 fights. Usually when you see a fighter, when you first hear about them, they're 20-0, or they're 22-0, or they're like 16 or 14-0. You don't get to see their first 10, 12 fights and see them develop and see their whole progression. But because Vidal is a YouTuber and he's a part of this space and how we do things now with content, you're gonna be able to see everything. So like, you know, when Vidal becomes champion of the world, when you get to look back, it's just gonna be sick to see that fruition. Like, because Vidal is not like a YouTuber. He came from the boxing background, like these boxers did. He's a true boxer, and then he obviously got immersed into the boxing world before he became a pro, which is perfect timing. And now it's all coming together, so it's so cool for me. I'm just excited. Now I get to see all this more content and see the worlds collide. It's gonna be a gap for me to bridge, not as a fighter, but as a fan and as a content creator, to be more involved with combat sports or boxing or MMA. I'm just excited for this. On that note, tomorrow morning I am heading back to Hollywood to a Karate Combat event. Now, Karate Combat is a new fight league that has karate world champions and karate practitioners come to compete on a new set of rules. I think this is the sickest thing ever, because just like, if you just watch one of the highlights, this has such like a Tekken, you know, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter type vibe.
Knockout win.
They're no shirt MMA style gloves. They're very small ounce gloves and white gi pants with their belt on. This is like something you would see like in a movie. That this is like old school kickboxer type movie with these guys like fight, and they have the karate style, they have the old school style. Here are the rules that you can see, and they also fight in this pit. So the guys, as they get pushed, there's no cage, so they literally can run up the pit and then use it, which is just crazy for like flying kicks or flying punches and stuff. And you can still hit when they're down. There's a certain rule set for that. This kind of has more of the Muay Thai vibe, kickboxing, where they wear just those hand wraps because it's a little bit more hard style with the punching. It's really cool to see because karate has a different style. They're super intense, and they're you know, super jittery and back and forth. So they're not as methodical, you know, and slow moving. Some guys are with that, but mainly it's that intense. They scream and they yell when they strike because they come from that point style, just that karate style. And Taekwondo has that yelling and screaming as you're striking. So I'm excited to see the future of this. Joe Rogan's talked about it. You know, Bas Rutten is the commentator. Danny Trejo is going to be also an announcer. There's going to be a bunch of celebrities there, UFC Hall of Famers. I'm excited I get to meet all these Hall of Famers. I get to meet these fighters. I get to be a part of this new, you know, event that's kind of pioneering karate back into like true combat, which is now MMA and boxing are the true combat sports. Everything can have their own lane, just like boxing has. So I'm excited to see that karate is kind of creating their own lane through karate combat as this intense, you know, hard style, exciting, good for the casual fan to watch type league and event. So tomorrow I'm at the weigh-ins. I'm gonna be meeting the fighters. I got a video coming to you from Bas Rutten. If you don't know him, do your research. He is a pioneer and he's a legend. It's gonna be sick to talk to him. And hopefully I get to get into the pit and do some flashy stuff and create some cool content for you guys. So yeah, that's it. I'm recovering from a sprained ankle. It's almost 100% there. I'll be good to go. Oh yeah, and by the way, go Pats. Oos. Oos. So I launched this website for you guys, everyone who watches my videos and wants to train with me. If you want Skype privates, if you want a tutorial video of me breaking down my favorite techniques and setups, it's all here. Hope to see you guys soon. Oos.